Hello there, Ray here, and the latest snapshot, which is 19W3A, is out. And with this one comes some small changes, and there's a new automation that can be done in Minecraft with this snapshot. I'll be going over all the changes today. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on this down in the comments. And if you'd like to see what crazy stuff I can design using what's new in the snapshot, I will be doing a live stream all about 1.14 experimental builds and testing everything out more extensively during that time. That'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today on Wednesday. They added a new block in the game called Composter, and you can find this in your creative menu in the miscellaneous blocks right here, or you can go ahead and craft it up. What it costs to craft is 4 fences and then 3 planks, don't matter what type, and that will produce 1 composter. The way the composter works is you can take vegetables and put them into there. So what you can do is just right click on it, and right now it's at level 0, and then every time you click on it, it's going to add 1 level. You see all the levels are slowly going up. You have to be sure to click kind of towards the empty area to add more levels. There you go, another one, there's 6, there's 7, and then 7 is the most you can put in there, and then it'll automatically add the 8th level, and this is where it's completely compost. It's instant. And then once it has this white filament on top, then you can go ahead and right click on it, and then it will produce 1 bone meal. So this is a way to convert your extra vegetables over into compost, which will give you some bone meal. And obviously bone meal is the type of compost that they have in the game of Minecraft, and you can turn around and apply this into your crops to make them grow again. So even though there's 7 levels, it takes more than 7 items to fill it up, and depending on what type of item you use, depends on how much it takes to fill it up, and it's kind of like a percentage, so it kind of randomly sometimes takes it, and sometimes it will not add a level. Let's go ahead and fill this up. I got 20 items, and you can see now I'm at level 7 and actually used about 9 items. Let's go ahead and remove that one. Let's try it again. Now there's 11 items that were used up and I'm still at level 6. Now the amount of stuff that you can compost is pretty extensive. Pretty much anything that you consider somewhat natural can be made into compost in this composter. I went ahead and tried out all the items, and these are all the items that can be used. So all the different types of saplings, all the different types of leaves, any type of grass, sea pickles, types of ferns, any type of flower, all mushrooms, cactus, vines, lily pads, all types of tall plants, so tall grasses, apples, melons, dry kelp, carrots, potatoes, cooked variations like baked potatoes, bread, pumpkin pie, beetroot, sweet berries, pumpkin, carved pumpkins, melons, dried kelp blocks, all different types of seeds, so like your beet seeds, your melon, pumpkin seeds, coconut, kelp, sugarcane, wheat seeds, as well as wheat. One that I thought should work that didn't work was bamboo. I was disappointed to see that rotten flesh could not be put into the compost bin, as this is one of those items that not very many people have a good use for. And putting it in the compost seems like a really good use for it. So pretty much you can convert all these items, if you want to, into bone meal. But it's going to take 7 of the item to make 1 bone meal. So maybe you have an automatic crop farm using villagers, and you have tons of like potatoes or carrots. You can take those type of items and put them into here and convert it over into bone meal. Now this does kind of feel like modded, where you see people have these like compost bins and they sit there and they place a bunch of items into it and they get like a dirt out of it. But I also think it's kind of nice for early game when you want to get some bone meal and you just have a bunch of random crops that you not necessarily need. But the cool thing about these composters is they can be automated. So I have a hopper pointing into the top here, and you can put in whatever type of material you want here, and it's automatically going to fill it up. And then when it's full, it's going to convert it over into the bone meal piece, which is automatically going to be picked up by the hopper down here. So this is a great way to automate the system by coming in and converting a lot of your unused compost material over into bone meal. They changed the looks of the campfire. I can see it's no longer animated in my inventory or in my hand. And if I go ahead and place it down, you see it looks different. Now we have some logs facing this way as well as some logs facing this way. And now it's directional, so if I would face this direction, you see that the logs are facing this way, depending on which way you turn. Now the recipe is exactly the same. Let's go ahead and check the height and see if they change anything about the height. So now it's 7 pixel high instead of being 5 pixels. And that's kind of unfortunate because 5 pixels is the one height that we don't have in Minecraft, and they gave it to us with this campfire, and now they took it away again by changing the campfire looks. So with 7 pixels, it's the same as like turtle eggs and lanterns and sea pickles. So let's see what it looks like when we go ahead and put out the fire. Yeah, before it was mostly just a bottom piece, now we actually see the logs on top. Also, the campfire light source level has changed, so now it's 15. So now when you add the food around the outside of the campfire, it looks a little bit different. As you can see, it now sets in the corners of each side. The nice thing about campfires is that it's an infinite fuel source for cooking food, which makes it nice for early game, but it is a little bit slower than using a furnace. So they added a sound to the barrel when opened up and closing, kind of like a whoosh thug sound, as well as a grindstone. So let's listen to the sound when we remove enchantment. Kind of gives you that sound of like a grindstone turning. And they also added sounds to both the blast furnace as well as the smoker. So let's put some food as well as some fuel inside of the smoker here. It's kind of like a soft fire noise. Now let's try the blast furnace. So I put some ores on the top and some fuel on the bottom. It's a very soft metallic sound. I also had sounds for the berry bush, placing and breaking it. Sounds very funny. Sounds like you're almost scooping with a shovel. They also changed the sound of crops being placed as well as broken. Another word breaking sound has changed. They changed the death message for fires when you're killed by them. So now it says raised when up in flames. They also fixed quite a few bugs, some to do with the data command, also to do with the lectern, so you can no longer place like levers on top of it, and some misspellings in the world, as well as a bug to do with the game crashing. A lot of small changes, as well as one big one being the composter, which I'm really excited to mess around with. And remember to join our Twitch streams tonight, which will be our Snapshot experimental one. That'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Wednesday. Can't wait to see what types of crazy farms I can come up with this, and I'll see you guys all at the Twitch stream. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and remember if you found this video interesting, go ahead and hit that like button and share this with others. And of course, if you want to see more Snapshot reviews like this, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell button for notifications as well. And I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on the Snapshot, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!